Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I'm IRDINA SYAFIAH binti AZANIE from the Faculty of Communication and Media Studies at UiTM Campus Alor Gajah Melaka Branch, Class MMC 11028. Today's topic, Islamophobia, media portrayal in Islamic perspective. This is important because media shapes how millions perceive Islam, often feeding fear instead of truth. So, what is Islamophobia? Islamophobia refers to the irrational fear, hatred, or prejudice against Islam and Muslims. It is not just a personal bias, it's a widespread issue reinforced through public discourse, policies, and especially the media. Islamophobia can result in discrimination at work or school, physical attacks, hate speech online, and even policies that unfairly target Muslims. According to United Nations, Islamophobia is considered a form of racism. It dehumanizes nearly 2 billion Muslims across the world and misrepresents an entire religion based on actions of a few. Movies, news, and magazines often paint Islam as violent or extremist. In Hollywood films like True Lies,
terrorists! Now, the oppressed have been given a mighty sword with which to strike back at their enemies. Unless you, America, pulls all military forces out of the Persian Gulf area immediately and forever, Crimson Jihad will rain fire on one major US city each week until our demands are met.
American Sniper, London Has Fallen, and Homeland, Muslim characters are portrayed as terrorists, armed, angry, and threatening. These images become normalized even to audiences who have never met a Muslim. News headlines like Islamic terror strikes again or Muslim extremists attack civilians reinforce fear. Meanwhile, similar crimes by non-Muslims are downplayed or disconnected from religion.
It's funny you say most terrorists are Muslim. This year, one of the worst terrorist attacks that we saw was in New Zealand.
Christians,
carried out
mostly not believers.
One of the worst terrorist attacks this year, one of the most high profile, was the murder of more than 50 Muslims in New Zealand by a Christian far-right white supremacist.
But this bias does not only exist in entertainment or headlines. It's happening now, especially in how the Palestine and Israel conflict is reported.
Let me be clear about Hamas. They are not freedom fighters. They are not a resistance. They are terrorists. Terrorism is always indefensible, and nothing can justify Hamas's acts of terror and the killing, maiming, and abduction of civilians.
Right now, a massive barrage of rockets coming off of the Gaza Strip. This is an effort by Hamas and Islamic Jihad to overwhelm Israel's missile defense system, the Iron Dome.
This video questions why the media immediately labels Hamas as terrorists while rarely mentioning Israel airstrikes on civilians. The speaker points out that the word terrorist is often used selectively to criminalize Muslims while excusing others.
But white people thought that Islam is like a terrorist religion. Right?
That's the media. That's the media
killing
giving.
Bomber.
Yeah, really? Look at the amount of killing the West has done. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Yemen. The list goes on, brother. You know what I mean? That's politics. We don't get into that on this podcast.
It's simple, just educate yourself. Honestly, if you're going to educate yourself on TV, it's the wrong path. Read a book, educate yourself, and learn about it.
So if you hit me and I hit you back, does that make me a terrorist?
Oh,
no, it makes me someone defending itself. But if you go, oh, terrorist, it's all media, it's all bullshit. Don't get caught up in that shit.
In another clip, the speaker speaks. If killing civilians is terrorism, why is only one side called a terrorist? This creator boldly challenges media double standards, asking why Palestinian resistance is criminalized while state violence is ignored. These examples reflect how media framing can fuel Islamophobia by reinforcing that Muslims and only Muslims are a threat. It raises a key question. Is the word terrorist being used to demonize Islam while justifying violence against Muslims? In reality, Islam is a religion rooted in peace, compassion, and justice. The word Islam comes from the Arabic word salam, which means peace. The Quran teaches, O mankind, we created you from a male and a female and made you into nations and tribes, that you may know one another, not despise one another. Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 30. The Prophet Muhammad was known for his mercy, patience, and tolerance, even toward those who attacked or insulted him. He forgave enemies, protected the weak, and promoted dialogue. In Surah Fussilat, verse 34, the Quran teaches, repel evil with what is better, then the one who was your enemy will become as close as an intimate friend. These are not the values of violence. They are values of peace and wisdom. If we observe real life rather than media stereotypes, we see a very different picture. Muslims contribute to society in meaningful ways as doctors, teachers, engineers, athletes, volunteers, and artists. In fact, many Muslim majority countries have been at the forefront of education, architecture, science, and diplomacy for centuries. Yet, these achievements are rarely shown in international media. Instead of celebrating diversity, media often focuses on conflict.
You are terrorists.
See you later.
You guys are terrorists.
I have been in Australia for 35 years and I usually go for my walk on Brighton Sand every Saturday, Sunday, because during the week I have full load of work. And I was walking on the beach as usual on the sand, and then I was coming up to the footpath. All of a sudden I'm faced with someone on the bike and he screamed at me, he swore at me, and then he told me, go back to your country, you are tourists. The Islamophobia organization, actually they supported me a lot, and actually they called me after the incident happened. They checked on me if I'm alright, if I needed any help, if I needed any extra support as well.
The more we allow to distortion to continue, the more fear and division we create in society. While media has contributed to the problem,
what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Do you feel brave hitting a girl?
It also has the power to be part of the solution.
I will not let you choose what I wear, and I will not let you choose what I say.
So what can be done to stop the spread of Islamophobia through media? First, media outlets must stop generalizing Islam. They must report responsibly and avoid framing religion as the cause of terrorism. Secondly, Muslim voices should be included. Muslims must not only be talked about, they should be given platforms to speak for themselves. Thirdly, filmmakers and content creators need to break away from the Muslim villain stereotype. Diversity in storytelling is powerful. Muslims can be shown as teachers, heroes, and ordinary people because they are. Lastly, media literacy should be taught in schools so that young people learn to question bias, stereotypes, and generalizations. When the media tells fuller, more accurate stories, understanding replaces fear. That is how we fight Islamophobia. Islamophobia is not just about misunderstanding a religion. It's about real harm caused by media bias and public fear. Islam is not a religion of violence. It is a religion of peace, mercy, and justice. The media must do better, and we, as students, creators, and citizens, must also do our part. Let's question what we see. Let's listen before judging. Let's speak out against hate. Because peace is not just a hope, it's a responsibility. Stop the hate, seek the truth, and stand for justice.